Banks have started to collapse in the US. Just this last week, just the last couple of days, we have seen two banks go under in the US. One was Starlink, and it's like Bitcoin banking, stuff that your typical bank is not going to be funding or anything like that. But people that use Bitcoin and all that stuff go through that type of bank. That is affects people that use Bitcoin, not regular cash. Um, and it will affect the economy though. And it also, Silicon Valley Bank has also, yesterday, they have completely collapsed, and the FDIC has gone in to take over. And the FDIC, at least for the time being, will be able to help get people some of their money back. Unfortunately, the Silicon Valley Bank is a big tech industry bank, and they have big, huge bank accounts. Not like us. We have regular bank accounts with very little money in it. But these big tech industry companies have huge amounts of money in there. And the FDIC, I believe, only covers up to like $100,000 or something like that. So they'll be able to help them with that amount of money, which will cause some of the companies to go completely under because that's just not enough capital to keep them going, unfortunately. So we're going to see job losses and things like that in the very near future from this. So most of us don't use Silicon Valley banks or anything like that. We have just normal bank accounts. But this can spread to all areas of banking. We want to make sure that we are looking at ways that we can protect our families. And this video is in no way anything to scare people or anything like that. We need to make sure that we're on top of what's going on so we can protect our families. And if we can't keep our families financially secure, we need to be aware of it and think of ways that we can do this to make sure that we're going to be okay. And there are a few different things that we can do to do that. We want to make sure, this can spread to any bank. We don't know, and there is no way to predict which bank is next, if there's a next, or what exactly is going to happen. But definitely having two pretty significant banks in the US collapse within just a couple of days of each other, that is going to trigger some economic pain for sure. I am definitely sure we're going to see some problems in the economy, which is going to make more businesses shutter. We've seen all kinds of stuff recently, and this is only going to get worse. I don't think we're in the free and clear now. I think that we need to prepare for more to happen. So one of the first things that I think of is, how am I going to get our day-to-day needs met? If making sure that we have some sort of cash on hand for emergencies, we want to make sure that we have that. If the bank that I use collapse, I'm not gonna, not going to be able to collect 100 grand from the FDIC because I don't have 100 grand, so we would only be able to get replaced what there is. And if too many of these banks collapse, the FDIC, I'm sure, is not going to be able to keep up with this if it gets too wild. But we need to look at what we can do for our families. So keeping emergency cash at home, I think, is really important, or somewhere that's safe. You don't have to keep it in your house. You may have another location that's keeping it, that's safer than your home. So that would be a good option for anybody if you have that. Another thing I think we can do is making sure that we have all the food and supplies that we need. Make sure we have those purchased. We already have them. If we have 6 months of food and 6 months of supplies, it's going to be a lot easier than if we've only got 2 days. So if you've only got 2 days worth of food in your house and all of a sudden the bank collapses, we're in big trouble. What are you going to do? So those are things that we really need to look at. Are our supplies as full as possible? Is our food supplies as full as possible? Do we have some emergency cash to get our day-to-day needs met if we have to? You know, those are three really big things that we can do. And I'm not saying run out and take all of your money out of the bank. That is not anything that I'm saying, because that would cause a run on the banks and could cause more and more banks to collapse, and that would not be good. I do think that paying off any debt is another pretty important thing at this point. If you have not paid off your debt, I would try to get working on that. Your house and your car are going to be two big problems, because they can easily come in and take those away if you can't afford to pay them. So those two things are things that if you have not already paid those off, I would definitely be looking at how you can get them paid off so they can't take it if, you know, something happens and you have no income. We need to be ready for that. So those are a couple other things I think are important, and that we just really need to look at what our expenses are, how we can cut them, and how we can make things better for our family, because things are about to get really rough in this country. I truly believe that, and I think we need to be prepared to do whatever we have to do to take care of our families. Second jobs, unfortunately, you know, I work more than one job. I don't know, a lot of people work more than one job. I don't know if you do, but it's tedious sometimes, but it needs to be done if you're going to get things in order. And, you know, I could live on one job income, but the reality is we try to make sure we're staying ahead of things and not getting behind. You know, the prices are rising so quickly in this country with all the inflation that, you know, you hear on TV. It's flat. It's flat. We don't have inflation. Go buy something. Buy a plane ticket. Buy, you know, a pair of jeans. Buy a pair of boots. You'll see it. I don't understand the people that say there is no inflation in this country, but because everything that I buy is not the same price as it was last year. Nothing. I don't see anything that's the same price. You know, maybe not even gum. No, gum is even more. So we need to really make sure that we're looking at our finances, make sure we have what we need, we're prepared for those emergencies. If your bank did shut down, how is that going to affect your family? It's going to affect each one of us differently, because we're all, you know, everyone says we're all in the same boat, but we're not in the same boat. We are all in the same storm. We all have different boats. Some people have yachts, some people have lifeboats. Some people are, you know, hanging by a piece of wood before this all started, just floating around. We need to understand that everybody's different, and we're going to have to take different steps to protect our family. But now is the time. If you haven't gone over that and how you're going to handle this, I think now is a great time to really buckle down, look at what it's going to take for your family, and make sure you have what you need, because this feels like it's just going to get completely insane. You know, I would love to hear what you guys think about this. Please let us know in the comments down below. Do you expect more of this, or do you think this is it and everything's going to be okay? And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.